Hey, welcome back to Golf the BRX's Winning What's in the Bag, where this week we are taking a look at Ryan Fox's Winning What's in the Bag from the 2025 RBC Canadian Open. Very cool experience, him and Sam Burns going into extra holes. He comes out with another win, and he has had a great year. I think it's his second professional win this year, so congratulations to him on a big one up there in Canada. Now we're going to start from the top, as we always do. Ryan is a Srixon staffer, so pretty much everything in the bag is Cleveland Srixon. And with driver, that is no exception. He is playing the Srixon ZXi driver, but this is kind of a tour prototype. If you look at the hosel on there, it is a 10.5 with a diamond after it. And when you go on the USGA conforming list, you can see that this thing here has actually, it's called the Srixon ZXi DP. So something diamond, whatever. And the biggest thing is that it has LS style weights, even though it's not labeled as an LS. But the front weight is actually shifted more towards the heel. So I don't know if it's more of a slightly draw bias head. The head also looks a little bit more compact. Now this is from photos, so it's hard to tell exactly if it actually is more compact or just looks that way. But it's got a little bit like smaller shape to it from the photo. So it's got the two interchangeable weights, one in the front, one in the back. When you move the heavier weight back, like Ryan's is, he's got a 4 gram in the front, a 13 gram in the rear. That 13 gram in the rear is going to add some stability, add some forgiveness, possibly some height, and even some spin to that driver head. And if you shifted that weight forward, you're probably going to see a reduction in spin, maybe a slightly lower launch with that head, but you'll lose some forgiveness. But this one is a tour-only part. Not 100% sure what it is. Srixon's not talking about it in terms of details, but it is something that some of their tour staff have access to. So kind of go on speculation on this one, but it is a 10.5 head. Looks like it is set to the standard hosel setting for Ryan, so playing 10.5. I know from some of his conversations before, he talks about not being a super high ball hitter, so carries a lot of speed but doesn't hit it very, very high. So 10.5 head, and this is shafted up with a Fujikura Ventus Black 7TX. Now this is the 2019 Ventus Black. It is the 70 gram range and the TX, which is Tour X Flex. Typically, most brands, when they go to TXs, they make them just a little bit lower torque or just a hair stouter in maybe certain sections. Usually, it's not like a one flex more stiff than X. It's usually certain parts of the shaft have been tightened up or stiffened up as kind of a PGA Tour request in a sense, or something they see out on tour that people ask for. So this is the 7TX. Comes in at 79.5 grams and 2.8 degrees of torque. Of course, low launch and low spin for that one. Now moving to his Fairway Wood, and we'll call it a 3-wood. It is a Srixon ZXi. Now we have photos from the an earlier tournament in the year, and it is a 3-wood head, and it is set to, looks like standard flat, so 15 degrees and just flat. Srixon, when we contacted them, it said his ZXi is a 16.5 degree head. Now right now for retail, they do not make a 16.5 degree head. They basically make a 13.5, a strong 3-wood. They make a 15, a standard 3-wood, and then a 5-wood at 18 and a 7-wood at 21, or 21 or 22. But this one here, they say it's 16.5 degrees, so not sure if it's a 3-wood head that is turned up to 16.5 through the hosel settings. They do have a 1.5 degree loft setting on their hosel, so it could be that, or it could be a 5-wood turned down to 16.5, but we don't have in-hand photos of that club. And like I said, the previous one from a previous tournament early in the year shows that it was a 15 degree head. So it could be that 15 degree head, and maybe he has just adjusted the hosel since then, but we do not know for sure. Or it could be a tour only part that is 16.5. Like, we have not seen it. So it could be a 4-wood technically that is in the bag that is built just for tour players. Not 100% sure on that one. But this one has that iFlex face that has increased ball speed, and it's got kind of a sleek, smooth sole design for good turf interaction. Honestly, it's actually a pretty high launching, easy to hit fairway wood. Really underrated if you haven't tried one. And the shaft in it here is a Fujikura Ventus TR Blue 8X. So the TR Blue is kind of mid-low launch, low spin, and the Ventus Blue, where it has a very soft handle section, very stiff tip. The TR Blue is a slightly different profile shaft. They actually use a spread toe carbon material up under the handle section to stiffen that up, reinforce it, and make it kind of play a little bit stouter and play with a slightly stiffer handle section. So still kind of mid-launch. I think it plays in between Ventus Blue and Ventus Black. I think it's kind of an in-between there. So kind of mid-low launch, low spin. And it comes in at 88.5 grams and 2.6 degrees of torque. Now moving to his irons, and his irons are a little bit of a combo set. The first iron in his bag is the new Srixon ZXi, which is the utility iron. His is a 2, which is an 18 degree utility. But in a video with Mark Crossfield, they talk about his iron set makeup, and he mentions this club, and he calls it a 3. He says this is kind of his 3 iron. So I don't know if he leaves it at 18. Maybe he bends it a little bit weak to make it match up with his iron set, but he refers to it as a 3, even though in the bag it is a 2. I looked at some images online from him playing this weekend, and it is the 2, the 18-degree head. So it might be slightly bent to kind of fit his needs and his gapping through his set. Now, this is the hollow body construction. It's got kind of a steel body with a high-speed steel face. So it's thinner, adds ball speed, a little bit of height, and just adds some more power to the top end of the bag for players who need that for gapping. It's also pretty easy to launch and pretty forgiving as well. Now, in this one, he's got a Fujikura Ventus HB Black. This is the older one. This is the brand new 2024-25 model. This is the one that came out, I think, in 2019, 2020. But it's a Ventus Black, which is low launch, low spin. Very similar profile to the Wood shaft, which is stiff handle or ultra stiff handle, stiff midsection, ultra stiff tip section. Very similar profile, low launch, low spin. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the specs on what weight and what flex. Well, Black only comes in TX flexes, so it's going to be an extra stiff. But not sure if it is like the 90-gram or the 100-gram version. Unfortunately, I went through some other photos and just couldn't. I could tell that it was a Ventus Black, HB Black, just could not tell what weight it is. So we know it's a low spin, low launch version. We just don't know which weight he went with. But either way, it's pretty heavy because it's going to be either 90 or 100 grams. Now, the rest of his iron set is still a little bit of a combo. We move into his irons, and they are Srixon ZXi 4 or ZXi 5, and he's playing the 4 and 5 iron in the ZXi 5. So again, with an little interview with Mark Crossfield, talks about how he does this combo set because he doesn't hit the ball super high, and these ZXi 5s are just really easy to launch in the air, and especially with the 4 and even 5 iron, he can hit them high, and when he plays, especially in America, he likes the fact that he can get those things to land softer and have better distance control into the greens. Now, the ZXi 5 is also something that blends very well with the ZXi 7, which is the rest of his set. Just from the look standpoint, very little offset, just a slightly thicker top line, slightly larger blade. But this thing has a super thin face with the rebound frame on it, which is basically a milled channel inside on the underside of the face that helps with the flex, makes it more uniform, makes it a little hotter, widens that sweet spot out. So it's thin, fast, and then the body is a forged steel for better feel. So these one here are shafted up, both the 4 and 5 iron with True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Shoe X100s. We talk about this one all the time, kind of mid-low launch, low spin. And then the rest of his irons, 6-through pitching wedge, are the Srixon ZXi 7s. So this is the single-piece forged iron. They actually use this iForge technology where they kind of forge different, they use a forging that uses, I think, different pressing pressures at different areas in the head to kind of maximize strength and add field to them. So kind of a unique process they do there. But this one there have the Tour V sole, which has great turf interaction. They don't dig. They get through the turf really quickly. And you'll see on these things, they have a lot of lead tape on them. And Fox has said he likes a really heavy iron. So it comes in with really heavy shafts, the True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Shoe X100s, so 130-gram shafts. All the lead tape on there will help get those irons up to D4 swing weight, which is what he likes. So he likes heavy iron shafts, heavy iron heads. He likes that feeling through the swing. But Srixon ZXi 7's 6-through pitching wedge. And then we move into wedges. And wedges, he's playing the brand new Cleveland RTZs. Now he's playing a full set of tour racks, which is kind of the more raw finish. The previous tour racks were raw and they would rust over time because they were 8620 carbon steel. This new Z alloy doesn't rust. So they have this duller finish to them, but they're actually not going to rust. And Cleveland basically says that the rust isn't really needed. It doesn't perform at any benefit. It's just a looks thing. And this new Z alloy actually is more durable when it comes to grooves, so they don't need to worry about these things having a rust to them. Now the first wedge in the bag is going to be a 50-10 mid. So this is his gap wedge, 50 degrees, 10 degrees of bounce, the midsole. The midsole is great for full shots, kind of a fuller sole, a little bit of relief on the back that you don't really see that much when you just look at it, but it does have a little bit of relief. Gets through the turf really smoothly, releases from the turf very well, but a good all-around grind that just does everything, especially full shots, very well. Now we move into a sand wedge. It's a 56-10 midsole as well, and this midsole here is kind of more of a V-shaped sole, but it is there to allow some versatility, allow that wedge to be opened up and play a different variety of shots, but it's still a wider full sole that offers good float in the bunker for play out of there. Then his final wedge is a 60.06 low. So this is the 60 degrees, 6 degrees of bounce. This is the low sole design. And this one, it's got a much heavier relief to it out in the toe, in the heel, and trailing edge. And this is just basically versatility, allowing you to kind of open the face, close the face, just to manipulate it to hit a bunch of different shots. So if you want to go high with it, you can open the face wide up. The leading edge isn't going to come off the ground too high, and you can hit a higher lofted shot that lands off into the green. You can play it square, play it out of the bunker. It just allows you to hit a bunch of different shots with that low sole design. Now, all three of these are shafted up with, of course, the True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue S400. So this is a 132-gram shaft, a little bit softer, but it matches the kind of the feel of X100. So you're going to get that same kind of flex to it, that same profile. But when you're hitting less than full shots, this gives you a little bit more feel and touch around the greens. We move into his putter, and his putter is a Ping Anser 2D. This is the 2023, so back then it was just called the 2023 line. But the Ping Anser 2D, which this is the wide boxier blade. So the Anser is the more rounded, softer looking blade. The 2 is the more squared off, sharper lines, and the D version, the 2D, means it's kind of double wide. It's a very wider, boxier blade. It has an L neck or plumber's neck on it for that full shaft offset. And it's milled from or made from 304 stainless steel. Now this one here, that longer flange, is actually going to add a little bit of stability for a blade putter, as well as make that sight line a little longer for lining up your putts. The face insert on this is Pebax, P-E-B-A-X, is a material that's a little bit softer. It actually offers a little bit better, a little softer feel, as well as a little more consistent ball speed if you slightly miss it off the toe, heel, low, or high on the face. And this one here, where you can kind of see on the face, it's got two tungsten weights internally in there that are out in the toe and the heel to get the head weight up, as well as add some stability to it on those mishits. Now this one here it has a grip on it that is a SuperStroke Zenergy 1.0P, and this is a 17-inch grip on here. As you can see, much longer. It is that light blue and white that is the same grip that's on the brand new Scottsdale putters that Ping has out. But it's a longer grip, 17, built for counterbalance builds. So basically, counterbalance builds are putters that play a few inches longer than standard. So if you play a 35-inch putter, you're probably going to use a counterbalance putter that's 38 or 37 inches long. And what it does is it moves that mass it has mass in the head and then moves mass further up the shaft into the grip as well to kind of build in some stability through the stroke in that putter. But that grip here is kind of got a flat top, a little more rounded back. It's slightly more pistol-shaped than some of the other SuperStroke grips, but it still doesn't have any taper to it. And it's that white and blue, kind of with that Ping logo, like I said, that they use on the Scottsdale putters currently. Now, the rest of the grips on his iron set are the Golf Pride ZGrip cord. This is probably the firmest, roughest grip that Golf Pride makes. It's got this Z kind of pattern into it for traction, and then it has a really heavy brush cotton cord that runs through it. It is great for players who are have sweaty hands or play in damp conditions. It handles moisture really, really well, but it is a very firm grip, so it's responsive, and it is rough. So if you start playing this thing, expect to go through a few more gloves or to build up a few more calluses on the old hands. But a very popular grip and a very great grip from Golf Pride. Now for ball, he is using the Srixon ZXi. So this is the three-piece ball that is a little bit firmer feeling than the other two balls, the Z-Star and the Z-Star Diamond. This one's going to be kind of the firmest feel. It's going to fly a little higher, and it's going to be lower spinning than those other two balls. So that is the what's in the bag for Ryan Fox at the 2025 RBC Canadian Open. And again, congratulations to him on a big win. Having a great year. Hopefully he plays well throughout the rest of this year. But check back next week when we'll jump into the winner's bag from the U.S. Open. So that one should be exciting. We'll see you next week.